So it's been just over a week since I last looked at how the asparagus is getting on, and to my surprise, it's flying. They're not that far away from harvesting. What I'm going to do is probably just harvest 1 or 2 stems from each of these plants. The crowns are obviously buried underneath, and it's from the crowns that these stems are growing. And if you look closely, these particular 2 stems, they're quite thin, whereas these 2 have started growing and they're quite thick. So I think that's a sign in itself that these are probably better for harvest. It's pretty exciting times actually, because I've never grown asparagus before. Right, so we've just entered the 2nd week of April, and I wanted to show you an area that was designated for growing asparagus. I put this in around 2 years ago, and the plants in the last year or so I didn't touch at all, because I knew that you need to let the plants establish, and in an ideal world you'd want to wait until the 3rd year before you start doing some harvesting. But I have read that people can take 1 or 2 stems just as a curiosity. I want to show you what happened here. The other day I was weeding the area, particularly behind this bed, and I caught it and it snapped off, but it was so tender my boy and I ate it on site. Now like I say, in an ideal world you'd wait into the 3rd year before you start harvesting, but I think 1 stem won't cause a big issue, and I've seen other people do this. You've got to harvest it just below the soil line, and there we have it. And I can tell that this is really fresh and tender, because it's bending very easily, and I think if I bend it too much it'll probably snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave this one here to fully grow. On this plant the stems are a lot smaller, but on this plant and this plant they're a lot thicker, so it might be worthwhile maybe harvesting 1 from here, and then I might just leave the plants alone. But this is an area where I wanted to just see if asparagus firstly grew on my site, and secondly if it grew with any success. Really, it's one thing getting something to grow, but it's another thing seeing if it does really well.